Hi, my name's John. I was the person that came up with the original concept for the drama, the spaghetti western, with some software developers. I also wrote the first script and third version of the script with Paul as well. We co-wrote the script, which was quite challenging, I thought. The initial concept we had quite a while ago, or I had quite a while ago, and then when we discovered that we had this location we could film in and that we wanted to use my idea, I then had to customise that original concept, which was going to be a couple of software developers sort of exchanging software in a CD spaghetti western style so that it fit the location, Derbyshire. Doing the first draft was the longest, I think, because it was getting the initial idea out. It's like doing the first edit. It's really difficult to get the whole idea out of your head. And then after that, I thought I'll give it to Paul so that he could do his interpretation of it. And then when I got it back, that's when we started talking to each other and saying, well, I like what you did here and added here and took away. And eventually by the third draft, it was a workable script. It was a script we could take with us on location. And that was basically my job in pre-production, was the script. In a student drama, you've got limiters. When you're writing your script, you've got to think about how many crew you've got, how many actors, your budget, if any. Basically, work to your limiters. Don't try and exceed them. Don't try and do a massive production that you just can't film to its potential. Do something small, keep it tidy, keep it neat, and keep it as good as you can do it. On location, I didn't have anything to do with the script or directing. I was the gaffer, which meant I did all the equipment and looked after all the equipment, helped set up lights, held the boom mic occasionally, did the crane for the camera work, helped move the camera around, all the equipment. But I thought it was really interesting watching how the script took a personality, took a life of its own when it was actually being filmed and being directed by Paul. I think that was a valuable experience, and one that I think everyone that wants to be a writer should go through. They should sit and they should just not tamper. They should sit and watch someone else interpret a piece of their work, and it's a valuable learning tool.
Hi, I'm Paul. I directed the drama. When I actually got out there, I realised that a lot of my role was more based around keeping a steady maintenance of performance with the actors and making sure that their performance was more about what I was looking for, as well as camera work. Before we actually went out to Derby, there was a lot of pre-production work that I needed to do for the project. Some of these being lots of research into the style of spaghetti westerns. I had to literally just immerse myself into the genre and really try and get an idea of how it worked. We did read-throughs. There was a lot of read-throughs where we sat there and I'd try and get an idea of how I'd want to direct the actors when we actually got out to this set. Several weeks before we left to film the project, we went on a recce and I had to be on hand for that to actually see the place, get ideas and perhaps help link the storyboards up to the environment that we'd be filming in. The demands that actually laid on me as a director were huge, but a lot of fun. I mean, people would actually be, the actors would be sort of demanding from me, what do you want me to do in this? Should I say this? Can I drop this line? Could I actually pick this line up? The director of photography would be saying, we need to move these around, and obviously she'd have communication with the actual, or he or she would have communication with the set designers and things like that, but it would be a lot of the time me who would have to be barking and being their voice piece for them. Sound people would be sort of saying to me that they needed up and down, or would there be any other sounds that kicked in, or if I'd change a line with the actors that meant they'd have to shout more, then the audio would have to go up or down. It's basically people coming to me from all sides, and a lot of pressure, but fun pressure really. As I say, I'd be normally the first person on the set and the last one off. I want to keep the whole piece as one flowing genre, and that there'd be a steady maintenance throughout it. And the days just flew by, because even though it was stressful and it was pressurised, it was a lot of fun, and to tell you the truth, I went into autopilot as soon as I got onto the set. There's that much coming at you that you'll either pick it up and go with it, or you'll just stress out.
I'm Emma Morris and I was a production assistant on the residential trip. Before we went to the trip, that was when most of my work had to be done. Rather than, there wasn't a great deal I had to do whilst we were on location. Most of it was done beforehand. This was things like sorting out the accommodation, booking the accommodation and talking with the people who owned where we were staying, sorting out arrival times, collecting money from all the other students. I wrote a press release, typing up all the minutes from the production meetings that we had, which were going on for weeks and weeks before we left. Typing up any work producers gave to me to fill up the production folder and making sure that was all put together nicely. Basically, being the production assistant, you're not so much responsible for yourself, but you're responsible for everybody. You have to make sure that everybody else knows what they've got to do. And you have to communicate with everyone, because if someone's late with a payment, you've got to go and get it from them, or if someone hasn't had any minutes and they don't know what they're supposed to do for that week, you have to make sure that they get a copy of those minutes, otherwise everybody else is going to be put behind for the schedule. I also organised the 2 recce's that we went on before the actual trip. This meant sorting out with the people who were in the hostel what time we could arrive, making sure we had cars together, deciding which people in the part of the crew needed to go on the trip. For example, we needed to make sure that the director was available on that particular day because he needed to be there so that he could have a look around, so that would help with the script writing. So I had to put all the directions together for that.
My name is Rob Walton. I was the editor on our drama. The role of the editor came in towards the end. I didn't go on the shoot. What I